Hey guys, good morning. So currently we are discussing the body fluids and circulation part, and one of my students asked me to explain the chemiosmotic hypothesis, which is a botany part. This chemiosmotic hypothesis, to understand this chemiosmotic hypothesis, we have to understand the basics of photosynthesis first. So this chemiosmotic hypothesis, it was proposed by Peter Mitchell. It was proposed by Peter Mitchell. And as I told that to understand this chemiosmotic hypothesis, first of all, we have to understand the basics of photosynthesis, right? So what is photosynthesis according to you? Photosynthesis, according to you? Yes. We know that plants are autotrophs, right? That means they prepare their own food by themselves. But how do they prepare their own food by themselves? Yes, by the process of photosynthesis. So this process, the process of photosynthesis, is completed in two steps or two phases. The first phase is called as the light reaction or light dependent reaction. Light dependent reaction. This is the first phase of the photosynthesis, process of photosynthesis. And the next phase of the process of photosynthesis is called as the light independent reaction. Light independent reaction, which is also called as or dark reaction or C3 cycle or Kelvin cycle. Okay, so these are the two phases of photosynthesis, right? The first phase is the light reaction or light dependent reaction. The second phase is the light independent reaction or dark reaction or C3 cycle or Kelvin cycle. This light reaction, it is again completed in it has again two this again completed in two phases. One is the non-cyclic photophosphorylation and the other is the cyclic photophosphorylation. In both the phase there will be generation of ATP, right? And in non-cyclic photophosphorylation there will be generation of NADPH2 also. And all those products which will be generated during non-cyclic photophosphorylation and cyclic photophosphorylation, all those products will be used up in the dark reaction or in the C3 cycle or in the Kelvin cycle. And here I have written light independent reaction. It doesn't mean that it will take place in the it can take place only in the absence of light. It can take place both in the presence or in the absence of light. Therefore it is called as light independent reaction, and this light reaction can only take place in the presence of light. Now this light reaction, if I discuss about the location where this light reaction takes place, its location is in the thylakoid. And this light independent reaction, if I talk about the location, then its location is in the stroma. Okay, is in the stroma. Now what is thylakoid and what is stroma? So if I discuss about the site of photosynthesis, site means place where the photosynthesis takes place, site of photosynthesis, then the photosynthesis, then definitely it takes place in the green leaves, right? It takes place in the green leaves. Now if you zoom in it in the or if you do this transverse section of the leaf, then you are going to see the inner portion of the leaf or the TS of a dorsiventral leaf. Then this is the upper portion, which is the upper epidermis, the upper layer of cells. Above this there will be a cuticular layer also. The next layer will be the mesophyll cells, where the first layer of the mesophyll cell is called as the palisade cell, which is no intercellular space, and the next layer will be the spongy cells having the intercellular spaces. Okay, these are the spongy cells, and these both the layers, this is the mesophyll cells. So the site of photosynthesis here in the mesophyll cells. So in the mesophyll cells, the photosynthesis process will be taking place, and in the lower side there will be the there will be the lower epidermis, and there it will be having more and more stroma. It will be having more and more, not stroma, stomata, and in the middle, in the inner side, there will be xylem and phloem. Okay, that is the vascular bundle, right? So in the inner layer of the cells, that is the these mesophyll cells of the leaves, okay, the photosynthesis process will be taking place. If you zoom in one mesophyll cells, then there will be the cell matrix, there will be nucleus, it will be having nucleus because these are eukaryotic cell, and it will be having all the cell organelle, right? And you will also get to see a double membrane cell organelle. Okay, you will get to see a double membrane cell organelle in the matrix or in the cytoplasm of the mesophyll cells. This double membrane cell organelle is called as the chloroplast. Okay, and here actually the process of photosynthesis will be taking place. Yes, definitely the process of photosynthesis takes place in the leaves. Yes, but in the leaves where? In the mesophyll cells, and in the mesophyll cells where? Inside the chloroplast. So if you see a chloroplast, then it will be having two, okay, membranes. One is the outer membrane and one is the inner membrane, and this chloroplast, it will be having a matrix also. The matrix of the chloroplast is called as stroma. Okay, and in this stroma only, in this matrix only, the light independent reaction will be taking place, right? And this stroma, in the stroma, it will be having certain disc-shaped structure. Okay, and all those disc-shaped structure will be present in stacks, and they will be present one above the another. And this disc-shaped structure in stacks, this disc-shaped structure which is placed one above the another, that means this group of disc-shaped structure, it will be called as grana. Okay, it will be called as grana, right? And multiple granas will be called as granum, and all those granas will be connected by some specialized structure which are called as stroma lamellae, right? And if I talk about the individual discs, okay, that means if I talk about the individual discs like this, individual discs, so these individual discs will be called as thylakoid. Individual discs will be called as thylakoid, right? And here in the thylakoid, the light dependent reaction or the light reaction will be taking place, right? First of all, I'm explaining the basics of photosynthesis, otherwise you will not get to know about the chemiosmotic hypothesis. Okay, so this is about the basics. Now probably you know where the light reaction will be taking place and where the dark reaction will be taking place, right? So in the stroma, the dark reaction will be taking place, and in above the thylakoids, the light reaction will be taking place, right?